Tennis fans rejoice in seeing Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal together again. While Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz appear to have achieved a great relationship off court, they were not the original duo to do this. Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal were. Federer and Nadal are retired, much to the chagrin of many tennis fans, but it is always delightful to see the pair reunite. That happened this week, when Federer paid a visit to the Rafael Nadal Academy. Their smiling faces show us that both are thriving in retirement, despite being missed on the ATP Tour. And their bromance continues after their playing days ended. Will we ever see Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal play tennis together again? It was not long ago that rumors surfaced that Roger Federer wanted to play exhibition tennis, and perhaps his visit to Nadal was more than friends catching up. Maybe he could recruit Nadal to play some exhibitions with him. Fans would attend because both are still among the biggest stars on the ATP Tour despite not being active members of it. Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal's reunion this week reminded us of their catch-up session via Instagram during the pandemic. Though the initial connection seemed difficult to ascertain, their interaction after they went live was pure gold. The Rafael Nadal Academy is a happening place. In addition to the Federer and Nadal reunion, we know that Alexander Zverev has been spending this week training at the Rafael Nadal Academy. Uncle Tony Nadal has been spotted supervising and even instructing Zverev. Did Roger or Rafa looking on that action? Oh, to be a fly on the wall when Roger and Rafa gather and at the Rafael Nadal Academy this week. A tennis fan can only dream. For over 2 decades, the names Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal were more than just opponents on opposite ends of a tennis court. They were 2 pieces of a masterpiece, artists of their own making, rivals who pushed each other to the brink, and friends who defined the golden age of tennis. So when images of Federer and Nadal smiling, laughing, and simply enjoying each other's company surfaced online during their recent reunion, the tennis world held its collective breath, and then exhaled in joy. The magic was back. And this time, there were no serves, no drop shots, no championship points. Just 2 legends side by side, radiating the same warmth that once lit up the world's grandest stadiums. The unexpected reunion in Mallorca. The picturesque island of Mallorca had long been home to Nadal, where his academy has grown into a sacred training ground for the next generation of tennis champions. But on a sunny afternoon in July, the Nadal Academy welcomed a visitor who, although not wielding a racket, brought with him the energy of a Grand Slam final, Roger Federer. Fans were first alerted to the reunion through a photo posted on the official Nadal Academy Instagram. Federer and Nadal walking down a hallway lined with their match posters, past moments frozen in time. Federer wore a relaxed smile. Nadal looked equally content. The caption read simply, "Legends, friends, brothers, together again at the Rafa Nadal Academy." And just like that, tennis fans across continents found themselves transported into a beautiful nostalgia. More than just rivals. To understand why this moment meant so much to the tennis world, one has to look back at what made the Federer-Nadal rivalry special. They were opposites in so many ways. Federer, the graceful Swiss maestro, whose one-handed backhand looked like poetry in motion, and Nadal, the relentless Spanish bull who chased every ball like it owed him money. Federer thrived on precision, Nadal conquered with passion. Yet together, they created some of the greatest matches in tennis history. Wimbledon 2008, often dubbed the greatest tennis match ever played, is still spoken of in awe. That epic 5-set duel that lasted nearly 5 hours and ended in darkness was more than a battle for a trophy. It was 2 titans elevating each other and their sport. But even amid the battles, the hugs were real. The glances after match point, the mutual admiration in post-match interviews, the handshake that always lingered a second longer. They weren't pretending. They weren't just rivals. They were brothers in arms. From competition to companionship. Their reunion in 2025 wasn't the first time Federer and Nadal shared a moment beyond tennis. Who could forget the Laver Cup in 2022? That emotional moment when Federer, retiring from professional tennis, held hands with Nadal as tears streamed down both their faces. It was raw. It was real. It was rare in the hyper-competitive world of elite sports. Since then, both have stepped back from the court, Nadal battling chronic injuries, and Federer embracing retirement with grace. But time hasn't dulled their bond. In fact, it seems to have only deepened it. When Federer visited the Nadal Academy, he didn't come just to say hello. He watched Nadal train with juniors, spoke with young players, posed for photos, and laughed like an old friend in familiar company. Nadal even joked in an interview, "He came to see if I'm still practicing or just sunbathing here." The tennis world didn't need a scorecard or a match schedule. This reunion wasn't about rankings, it was about legacy. Social media eruption, a love letter to tennis. As the photos and videos of their reunion spread, social media exploded. "Tears in my eyes seeing Roger and Rafa together again," tweeted one fan. "No one will ever replicate what they gave us. This is history living and breathing," posted another. TikTok compilations of their greatest rallies surged. YouTube algorithms threw Federer versus Nadal, best moments, to the top of the feed, and even current ATP players chimed in. Carlos Alcaraz commented, "Legends forever. I grew up watching them. Now I dream of being half the sportsman they are." It wasn't just about tennis. It was about heart. The museum moment. A particularly touching moment came when Federer and Nadal visited a private wing of the Academy's museum, a room filled with memorabilia from their careers. Federer stopped at a glass case, displaying a pair of his own 2007 Wimbledon shoes, placed beside Nadal's 2008 ones. They both chuckled, and Nadal quipped, "You won 5 Wimbledons before I even got one. Let me have this pair." Federer smiled and said, "You earned it, Rafa. And you never let me win again." They laughed, but fans watching the clip online knew this was history talking to itself. The future, mentors, icons, brothers. The significance of Federer and Nadal being together again isn't just sentimental, it's inspirational. In a sport where rivalries often end in silence or bitterness, there's blossomed into something rare and beautiful. They've become mentors not just to young tennis stars, but to sportsmanship itself. Their reunion is also a reminder to appreciate greatness while it lasts. Federer may never play competitively again. Nadal's body may not allow for many more tournaments. But their impact? That's forever. It lingers in the heavy topspin of a junior player's forehand, the elegant footwork of a budding prodigy, and in the sportsmanlike handshake at the net after a tight match. They've set a blueprint, not just for tennis greatness, but for human decency and competition.